What is up, guys? It is Chris from internationally known band Titus Fear, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to write and produce your own song. Personally, I do have a little bit of experience. I've dropped 16 songs on my own. I have also studied for plenty of hours at a time. Producers like Tom Lord Allergy, Rick Beato, I've seen plenty of their videos. I've taken handful enough to go along with it. So over the course of this, I'm gonna be posting that online, and I'll show you guys tips and tricks that I've learned. And yeah. So to start, make sure you have some type of instrument that you want to use. I like to start personally with my guitar instruments because that's gonna give me the bass melody for what I'm gonna write my song off of. So the most helpful thing that I could say is know what you want to play, like, by the second. So like for this part I have something like that, you know, and it's still pretty basic. It can be whatever you want. It's music, you know. So to show you this in the context of the song, what you also have to think about is when you're writing this part, when you're playing this guitar part, how would it fit with the bass part? How would that work? So to show you, I have this little bit of bass going underneath it. I have some drums that come in. Something to be very aware of is, like, does it work when it comes in? Does it seem like it's going to be in a pocket? Does it seem like it's going to be out of place? So you can see how this all kind of comes together to make a cohesive verse. So, to continue this next part can be about lyrics. I have my cat right here because she would not leave me alone. So, to continue this, I wrote some lyrics out. What I like to do is I like to format my song more before anything. So even before I really know what melody I'm going to use, what I like to do is I like to have, just some bass lyrics. As you can see, it's at 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. And then you can see there's this 4-part chorus that goes with it. But what you can really see is I formatted that, and from there you have this melody that you kind of memorize in your head, like da 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 da, that type of rhythm. And I think once you get that rhythm down, how you want to sing it, so you have that figured out, that's really when you're able to start writing lyrics that you think would work. And then from there you're able to put them to the song, and you can have a more cohesive song in that sense. There's some bands that do go and they write their lyrics first and then they put it to a melody, which that definitely does work. Personally, I find it easiest to work if you just start with whatever, whatever you want to play, then you can put your lyrics to it. That's how I prefer. Just some more stuff to keep in mind when you do go into the process of recording. What I like to think about I like to think about every aspect of what's going to end up to be my mix right here. As you can see, there's quite a different instruments, you know. So there's guitar. I doubled that guitar part and I put reverb on that, and what that's going to do is that's going to make a wider picture of the guitars. I'll go into this more in the second part that'll touch more on producing techniques. But as you can see also, there's this, so I know that I want a guitar solo, I know that I want a bass part, I know I want a drum part. And what this all does is it really sets me up for what this is going to do really is it's going to set up like a clear picture of how the song is really going to sound. So when I go in to write songs, something that I know every single time I've recorded a song is how I want it to sound. I know the opening parts, I know how it's gonna go into the verses, and I know how the verses are gonna sound. So I think the most important part is there's a lot of picturing in your mind that you can do, but if you never run through the entire song in your head, if you never fully practice playing the full 3-minute, 5-minute song that you have, you're never really going to have the full idea until you start to record. So I think that's another important detail that gets overlooked a lot. Another important trick that does help me just when I'm practicing or writing the actual song, you want to know what general tempo it is. Is it going to be a very fast-paced type of song? Because you could have something just as fast as this. But I'm getting a little off track there. You can see kind of fell out of time. But it's very important to know what general tempo, what's going to be the vibe of your song, what notes you're going to play. I think the biggest step is just starting the recording process. Know what you want to do, Another important thing is you should also know what effects you want to do. So like, let's say I was playing a guitar part, something simple, whatever you want to play. Don't want to get copyrighted here, but do you want to have a chorus on it? You can have some reverb, or you can have a bunch of distortion for your whatever you want to play, or you can have distortion. You could have a univibe on it. Personally, another thing that's important to keep in mind, what I like to do is, you can see I doubled my guitars there. So there's different tones that you do use when you record. So if you want to have one that's a bit of a lead chorusy type of sound, you could always do that. Keep that in mind, how that sound on the instrument. Also keep in mind how it would blend with a fuzzy bass, a clean bass. Are you going to have very big distorted drums that sound like a Nine Inch Nails song, or is it going to be like a very clean AC/DC type of beat? All these little types of details are very important to point out when you go into record, because without that type of it's very important to keep this all in mind, because potentially you could have more issues when you do end up recording. Because what I've noticed, there's a little bit of it in this song actually. There's a bit of a mid-range build-up because I didn't think too much about changing guitar tones on the solo versus the left and right guitar. And when you add the bass and drums, which takes up a lot more low end, that's going to create a very throaty kind of distorted tone that distorts the actual audio, not just the guitar. So once you get to this point, you can see what you want to record, you know how you're going to play it. So you can see I knew what I wanted to play, and like this mid-range build-up I was telling you a little bit before. There's ways you can fix it, which I'll show you in the next production video, but it's important to note how so once you know what you do want to play, the next step that I would turn to is just record some type of demo, record an actual recording of it. So as you can see right here, what we have the guitar part. So you can see that. There's also this, there's that double guitar. This one is the reverb, so as you can see that creates that white picture I was talking about earlier in the video. It's also important to note, right here, we have a bass track, but what you can also do, I've figured it out, that it's a cleaner sound when you record straight to your computer than an amp, especially in a lower budget, because your microphones are gonna not always pick up all the lowest frequencies, and sometimes what it's gonna pick up is just the outside room, the reflections of that, instead of just getting the raw instrument. So personally, I find it a lot more useful to just go right into my computer. You could either do a guitar that's just an octave down, like I did, like that, or you could just record your own bass if you own one. Personally, I don't, so I turn to this. But either way that you do, you can still see there's a decent bass tone in the end. Then I also did here, you can see there's plenty of amp sims online. You could always record it with a SM57. You could do an entire video just on how to record that one. But as you can see, I took an orange style amp, Black Booster Audio. All the plugins that I do use also are free or stock plugins that came with Pro Tools. So in the next video I'll show you a lot more of the use of those, but yeah. So once you have everything lined up, you have everything recorded just like you wanted it to be, the next thing that you would do would be producing, but I'm going to do this in a separate video. So yes, like, comment, subscribe. If there's any techniques that you have in your record, feel free to drop them down. We can all help each other get better.